If only we could freeze time. With Florida Prepaid plans, I can. It lets me lock in the cost of college today, and my payments will never go up. And while college may feel a ways off, it'll fly by.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Felonice Merriman, publisher of Palm Beach Parenting Magazine, and here we are today to talk about Florida Prepaid. Right now is a perfect time to enroll your child. It is open enrollment until April 30th, and you can lock in future college savings at reduced rates right now. We are going to talk to Ann Fonts. She's here with us today. She's a local mom of two from South Florida and the spokesperson for Florida Prepaid. We gathered some top questions for our readers that they had about Florida Prepaid, and we've got answers for you. So if you have any questions, this is the interview for you. Let's get started. What are some common misconceptions people have about Florida Prepaid?
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. This is one of my favorite questions because I'd say the biggest misconception that people have is that Florida Prepaid is only for Florida colleges, in-state public universities or colleges. And that's actually not true. You can use a Florida Prepaid plan in-state or out of state, at a private or public, even trade and technical schools.
Nice. That is very helpful. And I think that definitely people think it's Florida only. What makes Florida Prepaid different from other college saving options like a 529? Is one better to do, or should I be doing both?
It's a very good question. Florida Prepaid actually has two types of plans, which is also kind of a misconception. People might not realize that we have that. We have the traditional prepaid plans. That's where you prepay the cost of college in either monthly or a 5-year lump sum or all at once in one lump sum payment. The other type of plan we have is a 529 savings plan. It's actually pretty popular. And a lot of families now are deciding to do both. The 529 savings plan is a traditional 529 savings plan where earnings grow tax-free and they can be used for qualified educational expenses. So we offer both.
Nice. Now, we kind of touched a little bit on the first question, but is Florida Prepaid only used for traditional college, or can we use it for trade schools or other programs?
Yes, it can actually be used for trade schools, technical, vocational, private schools, or in-state public colleges or universities. So they're really flexible, and a lot of people, don't really they have that misconception that they can only be used here, but the plan will pay for the value of what you put into it. So for instance, I have two kids. I have a 4-year-old and 2-year-old. Let's just say when the 4-year-old, he gets into Harvard, probably not, but maybe. We have a 4-year plan for him. It'll pay the cost of, what we put into our 4-year in-state public plan, university plan for him. We'll pay that to that private, but it won't cover probably all 4 years there since it was built for in-state in Florida.
Nice. Also, like grad school. So let's just say my child graduates with their bachelor's, they want to continue on to grad school. Can that be used towards grad school?
Yes, great question. It can be used towards grad school. So let's say your kid got a scholarship and they don't need their plan for their undergrad. They can use it for grad school after. So great for that. It can be used within 10 years of their high school graduation.
Nice. How affordable is Florida Prepaid, and what are the payment options for families?
That is another big question we get. Plans are the lowest they've been. Plan prices are the lowest they've been in 10 years, which is definitely why we're encouraging anybody who doesn't have a plan or maybe who wants to add on to their plan to look. Now is the time before April 30th. Our plans start now at $29 a month for a newborn baby 1-year university plan. I mean, that's pretty affordable. When you think of how everything else in the world has gotten so expensive, $29, I probably spend more on coffee per month after, pickups and drop-offs. $29 a month for newborns. It's hard, right? Especially when you're thinking your kid's so young. And you have to put some money aside for it. But once you kind of you can work within your budget, what works for you and see what you and your family can do. but we encourage you to start somewhere. If your kid's a little bit older, so say mine's, 4 years and 2 years old, or your kid's a little bit older than that, you can go online to myfloridaprepaid.com, and we have a little pricing calculator on there. You put in your child's birth date, and you can see the plan options available and what prices make sense for your budget.
Nice, nice. How long does this $29 offer last? Like if I don't sign up now, how much does it usually cost?
So that is locked in now until April 30th, which is why we definitely encourage you. I know moms and dads are really busy right now. It's spring break and lots going on, in March and April, but definitely encourage you now before the deadline of April 30th to lock in that pricing. If you sign up after April 30th, you'll just be locked in for the next year. So now's the time. If you're thinking about it, go on there and get it while we have these great prices.
Great. This is a reader submitted question. What if my son ends up getting Bright Futures and has prepaid? How does those work together? Can one be used towards housing and books? And which one would you use up first?
These plans work so well alongside scholarships and financial aid and all of that. I was actually a prepaid kid. My parents had purchased it for me, and I was lucky enough to get Bright Futures. So I can speak to this kind of personally. It's really best to kind of look at what your scholarship or financial aid is covering and what your prepaid, whatever plan you had for your child, because there's so many different options, right? The university, the 1 year, the 4 year, and see what matches up the best. The great thing, since these prepaid plans are so flexible, let's say you don't need it. You had it there for you, but your kid has the full ride scholarship for tuition and fees. They could use it for grad school, like we mentioned before. So you might want to keep it. You could also transfer that plan that you purchased to a sibling. Super great.
Yeah.
And another thing is, let's just say you didn't need it at all for the tuition and fees and all of that stuff and decided you wanted to get a refund. You could get a refund on how much money you put in to the plan, get that back, and then maybe you want to use it for their housing or additional education expenses, because we know, it's not just the tuition. When your kid's going to college, it's really so much more.
Yeah. I think you kind of touched on this question, but maybe you have more to elaborate. What happens if my student ends up getting a scholarship or decides not to attend college?
Yes. So let's say you don't know what your kid's going to do, right? I certainly don't know what my kids are going to do. They're 4 and 2. They want to be, Elmo and Cookie Monster in their careers. So I think definitely the prepaid plan's flexible. It could be used to cover other college costs like grad school. It could be transferred to another family member if they don't use it, or you get a refund on what you paid for your plan. So lots of options. Your money is guaranteed by the state of Florida, which is a huge benefit for this. And as residents of Florida, this is a benefit you should take advantage of. So again, lots of flexibility there.
Can multiple family members contribute to a Florida prepaid plan?
Yes. Your family members, your friends, they can all contribute to your child's plan. This is actually pretty popular. I've seen in South Florida recently. If you have a 529 savings plan through prepaid, a lot of people put the link in their child's birthday invitations or registries for babies and all of that, and people can contribute directly on the website. You could set up so the grandparents maybe once a year on birthdays or holidays can contribute, but definitely a great option for people who have families that want to give the gift of education.
Very cool. Can you purchase multiple 1-year plans under the same account for the same child?
Yes, this is something that's also kind of a misconception. You don't have to commit to a 4-year plan if that's not within your budget. You can choose to start with a 1-year plan. And just go from there. Like start small, and then let's say you decide, okay, I want to add a little bit more. You can stack and add on another 1 year. So then your child can get their, AA or cover the first 2 years of college and university. So very, very flexible that you can come in and do that after, should you decide you have more, or just start with the 1 year.
Yes. Also, this is kind of like a hot topic issue right now, but will these programs still exist if the Department of Education gets dismantled? And if so, how would it be impacted?
Ooh, that is a lot of a lot of
Had to throw you a little hardball there.
Yeah, that was a hard one. Lots going on in the news
Yeah.
right now. I'd say, the prepaid plan has been around for a very long time. I had it, and I'm not going to give my age, but very I used it a long time ago. It's guaranteed by the state of Florida, whether you have the prepaid plan or the 529 savings plan through prepaid. It's guaranteed. It covers your tuitions and fees, or whichever plan you have covers it, and you're not going to lose whatever you put in. So I know it's very hard. In the news right now, there's a lot going on. In the world right now, there's a lot going on. This is guaranteed by the state of Florida. That will not change.
So it's not entwined into the Department of Education. So,
Correct.
yeah. So I think we've talked about the deadline, but the April 30th deadline, it seems like it's the best time to sign up, right? Is there any other times that you recommend, or is it just like right now is like the sweet spot?
Right. It really is the sweet spot. Open enrollment is the time frame once a year. It's almost like open enrollment for, your HR or your healthcare. It runs February 1st till April 30th this year. And that's when you lock in the future prices of college at today's prices that we have on the website. So really, if it's been on your hot list, if it's been there and you just haven't taken the time to go around and do it, spend some time this week or next week ahead of April 30th. Go on the website. It takes 10-15 minutes. See what works for you and your family, for your child, and just start somewhere. You can sign up after that, but you won't be with these amazing prices that we have right now, and they might change. So that's why we definitely encourage people to just take the 10 or 15 minutes and do it now and see if it works and is right for you and your family.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with me today to answer all these questions from us and our readers, and really help to, make this make sense. And it seems like it's really flexible, really easy to do, 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm encouraging everyone to sign up by April 30th.
Yeah, I'd say when I talk to parents and moms like us, they never regret it. They're always like, "Oh, I wish I would have done a little bit more," or "I wish I would have gotten the dorm plan through prepaid." It's hard to think of right now, but it's so wonderful. And I really encourage you all to do it. And thank you so much for having us on here. If anyone has any other questions later on, we have a wonderful customer service through the website myfloridaprepaid.com. There's a chat function there. There's no dumb questions. Like, just go on. They'll help you through stuff, whether you're a current account holder or considering purchasing a plan for your child.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.